like the starting point was pretty difficult because you don't know if there is a future, how many girls play, and where do you start from. But yeah, I think from there to now, I think it's been a massive change. The stadiums from the time I started, it was empty stadiums. Now we are filling out almost 30,000 to 80,000 capacity stadiums, and which is pretty cool. When you go out to bat, there are like 30 odd thousand people chanting your name and wanting you to do well.
What's up, everyone? I have the big pleasure today of speaking to Indian cricket sensation, Royal Challengers Bengaluru Jinx breaker, whose biggest fear, by the way, is not getting enough sleep, and self-proclaimed total foodie, Smriti Mandhana.
Good, nice intro. I haven't had this kind of an intro for a long time. I'll use it somewhere.
I worked hard on that one.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, and so are we. Let's maybe start with the easy one, the foodie situation. What is the let's say dish that you can't live without?
I love bhel, which is like a street food in India, which is mostly like chaat is made of rice puffs and like a lot of flavor in it. So tamarind and some like coriander flavor in it. But yeah, it's like I can give up on anything. Like I'm really strict with my diet, but that's like something which I can't resist. And then that's my cheat meal most of the time. And there's a really special one back home where I stay. So whenever I'm back home for whatever how many ever days, I always go there and eat bhel.
Nice one. I was just about to ask if that's your game day or preparation meal, but no, you said it's your cheat one. But let's get into like the reason why we're here, which is not food, unfortunately. Maybe for another time we're gonna do a food episode, but no, we want to speak all about cricket and what it means and how you approach your favorite sport today. So maybe we can kick it off on an easy basis, and you can share with us how it all started for you, how you first caught the cricket bug.
I think I always joke around with my family this that my father and my brother were so much into cricket that I think even when I was in my mom's stomach, I was just hearing cricket and listening cricket because that's the only thing. I think that's a pretty normal Indian family. They are all obsessed of cricket. Indians love cricket, and my parents were no different. My dad wanted to be a cricketer, but because of few family stuff and businesses and all of that, he was not able to pursue his dream. So he always wanted one of his kids to go on to play for the country or play good cricket. So he always made me and my brother always like maybe other girls used to play with Barbie dolls and all of that. The only thing I had at home was a cricket bat and a ball, which clearly I didn't like. Since I was 4 or 5, from the time I started understanding anything, the only thing I watched, heard, or did anything was cricket. So I was like properly into it when I was 5. So that's how actually I started playing cricket, and then of course I fell in love with batting and the sound of the bat when it came. So yeah, that's how it started.
You said that it was your dad's dream to become a pro cricketer. When did it become your dream to actually make a professional career out of the whole thing?
I did play state cricket pretty early when I was 9. I got into like under 15s and all of that, but even till then I used to only play it as an hobby. I used to love cricket, and I was not really good at any other thing like singing, dancing, all the cultural activities. I wasn't that great at, so I knew that only thing which I can actually do is cricket. But maybe when I was 14, 15, and I got into the state level of like senior state level cricket, and I saw the girls performing the way they were, and then I scored my debut century, is when I thought, yeah, maybe I can take this up professionally. Till then it was just more like a passion, and I loved playing cricket. But since then I started dreaming as well that I want to represent my country.
I love that, and I'm a girl in sports, just like you, so I definitely have this special view on the whole industry, and I definitely care about,
Which sport do
girls.
you play?
I used to play field hockey,
Oh,
which
nice.
is
Okay.
really big in
Hockey.
India as
Yeah, hockey
well.
is
You guys
pretty
are
big
really
in India
good.
too. I'd
Yeah.
gone I'd gone to watch India versus England hockey match in Commonwealth, so which is pretty cool experience.
Oh, so cool. And you guys have huge crowds as well. We're dreaming of those over here. They're like two people and someone's golden retriever cheering you guys on over here. But
Yeah.
what I was going for is it really mattered to me and matters to me seeing girls do what I would like to do. Representation matters. How was the situation for you back there as you started?
Well, I think when I started playing cricket or any sport, I think women's sport wasn't as big as it is now. Women's cricket, especially, we didn't know if there is an Indian team, Indian women's team, who's playing, where to go to. Like cricket was always massive, but it was mostly men's cricket, and we didn't know which clubs to go to start with. My mom and dad always used to go around and ask, "Do you have any other girls playing?" And most of the time, it was me only. Like I'm from a smaller city in India, so I was the only girl playing in maybe like 80, 100 small boys, and so yeah, you like the starting point was pretty difficult because you don't know is if there is a future, how many girls play, and where do you start from. But yeah, I think from there to now, I think it's been a massive change. Where I am from, where there was not a single girl playing, now you have under 16, under 19, under 23, and a senior teams, all of girls playing, and we could actually make two or three teams out of every underage, like under 16, under 19, 23, and senior. So there are probably 150, 200 girls playing from the smaller city I am. So it's completely changed and massively changed. But yeah, I'm actually happy that you could experience that and see all of these things. I think it's a really cool thing.
It definitely is. And I mean, it's harder for someone like you who didn't have the representation back then or someone, to imitate basically, but you still, struck everyone with your incredible performances. And you were actually identified as a child prodigy pretty early. And I was wondering then if anything changed for you throughout the career in terms of pressure, in terms of focus, like a shift from away from just fun to, the pro level.
Yeah, I think massively, because in last 5 to 6 years, women's cricket in India has changed massively. Earlier, I think even when I represented my country, and before 2017 World Cup, when we used to actually talk about cricket or we play cricket, the only question, most of the times, the question used to be like, "Oh, we have a girls' team also in India." So not many people were aware of. We do there's a women's cricket team in India. So from there to now, people are appreciating us. People are criticizing us for our performances, which is really nice to know because they care about the sport. Because I think. And that's why the pressure also comes because in last 5 to 6 years there's a sudden growth of people actually watching women's cricket. They're attached to where we are traveling and all of that. The stadiums, from the time I started, it was empty stadiums. Now we are filling out almost 30,000 to 80,000 capacity stadiums, and
Which is
uh,
insane.
which is pretty cool. When you go out to bat, there are like 30 odd thousand people chanting your name and wanting you to do well, which is, I feel, more than the pressure, I really like it. I think that's a thing which keeps us going, because the more the people come to cheer you, I think more it pumps you up to do better for your team. So yeah, there's a big and a massive difference in terms of pressure, but I think I'm pretty chill with it. I really like it because I think if the people don't expect, you don't really, like, you don't push yourselves to go harder. So I think people expecting something out of me or the team, I think that's a good place to be, rather than playing in an empty stadium.
That's so interesting because I can imagine that, it actually could make one more nervous or add pressure in a negative way. So you're just chill and you're just enjoying the chants and the noise and everything.
Yeah, because I think seeing the both sides of the coin, from playing at a place where people didn't care about women's cricket, to playing to this sort of reception, I think I'll take that pressure any day,
Interesting.
and play in that sort of environment, because all you want is people cheering for you and wanting the team do well and wanting the country do well. So yeah, I think and also small girls coming out, turning out in huge numbers to cheering their heroes, which is pretty cool.
It definitely is. And I love your approach there Do you have like a certain routine or things that you do in order to prepare yourself before you step on the pitch?
Yeah, we do have few routines now that we have different times of matches. If we play a one day match, it generally starts at 1:30 in the afternoon because it's like a 7-8 hours match. A test match generally in India starts at 9:30 a.m. and if you play a T20 match, it starts like at 7 or 7:30 in the evening. So and sometimes in one series you play all three formats. So your sleep schedule changes massively from the time to get up at 9:30 to all of a sudden 1:30 match to
Yeah.
7:30. You have to be a little flexible. You can't be very rigid that this is what I do and this is how I go, because sometimes I was like that few years back, and that did definitely trouble me, that if I'm not able to follow my routines, it used to hamper me. But now I'm pretty flexible with the routines. The only thing I need is like 1 hour before the match, which is really really calm. I don't rush into anything. All my morning routines or just freshening up, I need to really take time in everything. I can't rush anything. And just a 10-minute meditation, which is like more like just to calm myself down and just be clear in my ideas, not like very rigid one like I have to sit and think anything. And maybe 3 or 4 minutes of visualization of the whole crowd, and you entering the stadium and all of that, so that you're just well prepared. So yeah, just like basic do 2 3 things and not much, as I said, because the timing changes so much that you can't be too rigid with what you're doing.
You just mentioned that you meditate, which I find so interesting. What is it that you do exactly? Do you do a guided one? Do you just, I don't know, do like what's it called? A body screen, a
No,
body
no,
scan?
I do a guided one only. It's very, very tough for me to just sit without anyone telling me anything. I don't
Same,
think that's for
same.
me. I just get lost in some weird thoughts. I go in mountains and beaches, so which is very hard to come back to cricket again. So mostly it's a guided one. Like I use few apps, and where they have some great guided ones, or sometimes it's a little motivational ones. For me, it's just about
Hmm.
being quiet for those 7 to 10 minutes, just at one place, and closing my eyes and calming my, and especially I think having a control over your breath. I think that's the only thing which I look forward to. So not that I have to like go in some zone or something. That's not what I look for. I just, because as a batter you have to just watch the ball and hit,
Mm.
and that's the best when you do is when you're very calm. So that's the only thing I look forward to, or I want to take away from that meditation bit. So yeah, it's not like I can just sit for 10 minutes and not have anyone saying anything. So mostly guided ones.
Mm.
Only when I do the visualization bit, of course, just 3 minutes of uh, just doing the processes right, like what I do on the ground, and then mostly I don't even visualize a lot of batting out there. It's more about reaching till when I actually to take the leg guard. That's what helps me.
Interesting. And if you say that your mind goes to weird places sometimes, like the beach or mountains or whatever, does that happen to you on the on the pitch throughout the game as well, or are you all in your zone as soon as you're in there?
No, 90% in my zone. Um, I don't go to mountains and beaches because it's a pretty short game. Sometimes T20 is like just 3 hours of complete. Like you have to put your all your heart and soul into it. Sometimes when I'm on the non-striker end, so like the striker end is when I face the ball, but when I'm on the non-striker end, which is like when where the bowler is actually bowling from, there you have like maybe 20, 30, 40 seconds before the other batter is playing. Sometimes at that time, because I don't want to stress myself thinking about when I have to face the ball, I do watch around, in the crowd, or I just see a point which I don't think a lot about batting. So I do all of those things to not really focus a lot, because 3 hours of complete focus can, it's not, I don't think it's meant for me. As some people do that and are really successful, but when I focus extra, I think I end up not doing well. So for me, it's just about finding that balance.
So interesting. And I, never thought about how you can't really have a routine like that because of the different, starting times of the games. And we already figured out that sleep is very important for you, and food as well. So how do you adjust your sleeping schedule or even your meals to be able to perform best out there?
Well, I think sleeping is whenever the only basic rule of me sleeping is 8 hours a day. I don't have like any particular timing or anything. Say if we have a night match and we come back by 12 or 1 and you freshen up and sleep at 2, so 2 to 10, I'll end up sleeping till 10. If I end up sleeping at 9 p.m., I'll get up around 8 hours. So, what one thing is constant is 8 hours of sleep. And even if it doesn't come once at a time, I'll make sure that I manage to sleep in the afternoon or somewhere so that I make up those 8 to 9 hours in the day. I don't play around with that because otherwise I get really frustrated. And yeah, I am not in the, I think I'm not in the best place when I don't get my 8 hours sleep. I'll just get irritated on everything and anything. I'm sure as a girl you'll understand that, if a girl is
Definitely.
like is not like has slept well or really hungry, how we can
Yeah, I was
react.
just about to say, being like hangry is so much worse for me than not having slept, though, to be
Yeah,
honest.
so I think it's both mixture of both for me. And food, I think, of course, in the last 1 2 years, because the amount of traveling we've had, I had a
Hmm.
few issues with my gut. But yeah, in last 1 2 years, I started traveling with my own chef, so that it's
Hmm.
easier. And you don't have a lot of headache to think about what you want to eat. They know what, and especially I think home cooked food suits me a lot. Outside the hotel
Hmm.
foods sometimes that doesn't suit my gut. So yeah, that's become a little easier on my body now. I don't have any gut problems because of that.
So you figured out like a certain, I'm going to use the word diet that suits you best, and you're just trying to follow that, even in your, if you're, traveling and in hotels.
Yeah, I think I have a person who cooks mostly, and I get kind of similar kind of food the whole year wherever I am,
Perfect.
even outside India or India. So that really makes my life easy.
So you mentioned the gut problem. Obviously, it's never good, feeling unwell in any kind of form, and then trying to perform. Did you try to, you know, make an impact on your fitness with that as well? Because obviously, food and fitness, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think my gut issues used to trouble me a lot because sometimes you wake up not wanting to do something because you have a lot of acidity issues and all of that, and then because of the sleep schedule and all of that, it really adds up. But since the time I've done this thing, and of course taken care of the food especially in my life, I think really more than I think, of course, fitness is one major part which food helps, but also my energy levels. I think energy levels have been really good. I don't feel lethargic the whole day. Earlier, it used to be like even after my 8 good hours of sleep, I used to feel like sleeping in the afternoon. Trying. Sometimes you felt like not doing anything and just lying down on the bed and not doing much when your gut is not at the best place. So yeah, in last 1.5 2 years, I think that all issues have been eliminated, which is great. Now I have a lot more energy now.
Like, do you feel like you have to obsess about all these little things? I mean, not everyone can afford probably to travel with a chef to, take extra time to focus on your nutrition. Do you feel like all these little things are the factors that make, the perfect elite athlete at the end of the day?
Yeah, for sure. I think I always say the biggest investment as an athlete is our body. You don't have to invest in any other thing, but the only thing which you have to take care the most, and which is gonna be like you invest in a stock, you invest in a lot of things, mutual funds and all of that. If you're not an athlete, and then it gives you back the reward. It's like the best investment for an athlete is in your body, and if your body is at the 100% level, is only when you're going to be able to perform or give the best for your team. So yeah, of course, if you're not that I was able to do that 2 years back, but of course I used to take care in my own ways. Try and link up your nutritionist to ask, okay, this is the menu. What can I have, or what's the best will suit me. All of those things, of course, I did even before when I got a chef. So but yeah, if you can afford it, and if it's possible for you, I'm sure that really makes a massive difference.
And on one side, I totally agree. And on the other side, I kind of want to challenge you because if you're not in the right place mentally, you could be your fittest and best version of yourself, probably, and still not perform. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's for sure. I think if you're not happy with your cricket, or if you're not happy in your mind of what you're doing, I think, and especially I think if you're not enjoying the sport, sometimes I think that's a massive, massive factor because even for us, sometimes we are on road for like 10 to 11 months, and there's always one point in the year where you feel like, I don't want to see the bat, I don't want to see my kid back, I just don't want to, I just need a break, like maybe just not a
Beaches and
break
mountains.
like, yeah, not a break like mental break, just like 8 days of doing nothing and just
Hmm.
just being at your own. And sometimes our lives are too much like controlled by the sport, and of course with other commitments now we get with being an athlete. So sometimes you don't have your control of your own life, and that can be a little weird sometimes when you want to do something, but of course you're bound to do these things. But I have a take in a way where, of course, an athlete's life is limited to a specific period of playing, which is like because I'm a cricketer, I could play more 10 years, which is I would play end up playing totally at for 20 20 25 years in terms of starting from my young age. So, and after that, literally, so only motivation I keep telling myself is that, maybe this X number of years I have to be motivated and I have to feel happy and positive about everything. And after that, even if I miss coming back, I would want to come back to play, I would not have a chance to come. So that's what I keep telling myself, that, these are my years and I really want to go out there and focus and do whatever is possible. So even if that thought comes that, oh, I don't want to do anything, it kind of gets me going.
Do you do that all by yourself, or do you sometimes reach out to other people and talk about those things?
Well, I think cricket being a team sport really helps. We have like teammates become your family after a point. You play almost like 10 to 11 months with them. Like I see my teammates more than I have seen my family in the last 4 5 years. So, and we have like all age group people, like since like we have some 18-year-olds, we have 24-year-olds, and someone who's elder to us as well. So, which is pretty cool to have the mix of it. You kind of get all the emotions. We could speak to each other, and we do definitely have team psychologists as well who could help us out in anything needed. If you're thinking anything right or wrong, they could guide us in telling us that maybe it's everyone always relates the psychologist to some mental problem or something, but I just feel it's even if you want to enhance your performance, or you want to do anything, I think not a bad option. I think I've started in last 1 or 2 years, I do have one, and it's really helped me.
Yeah, I can imagine just probably sharing some of the mental load that comes with the pro athlete life. Maybe you can share with us one or two, just if you feel comfortable doing so, things or tools or processes that you have been working with your mental coach.
Well, one major thing which I've been working is setting my routine right, which I feel I was trying to do that a lot individually without her. But then since the time she's guided me to do these things, this visualization stuff and all of that. She's introduced me to these things, and I just feel like as an athlete, you just keep changing a lot in like mentally. Like you don't realize sometimes you're scoring, you're in a certain zone. When you're not scoring, you're in a certain zone. Or sometimes you're thinking something but you don't know, are you thinking right or you're thinking wrong. So just to some for someone who's had that experience, and for you to share those things with them, or someone else telling you that you maybe you're trying to think a lot, or maybe you're not, all of these things really help, and gets you back to that normal place where you understand that, okay, I'm going the wrong way, I have to just come back to the right way. So yeah, these few things I've been really working with her. If I have some thought in my mind that maybe these things have changed as a batter or as a athlete, I do ask her, am I thinking right, or should I maybe think the other way? And then someone like an experienced person tells you that, oh, you're thinking right, you don't overthink anything, you're just like, yes, this is right. So
It's interesting hearing you explain this because you always say right and wrong, and I'm not sure personally if I think that there's anything like right and wrong in this world. What do you mean by using those words?
no, I think right for yourself and right wrong for yourself. That's what I
Hmm.
mean. Of course,
Hmm.
I also have come to a place where I started out playing thinking, okay, this is the right way to play and this is the wrong way. When you were like a 17, 18-year old and your coaches told you a certain way, but for sure, of course, I've grown out, and now I know that now that you see a lot of other athletes, like especially your teammates, everyone has their own characters, difference in a way where how they approach the game, and you see all of them doing well in their own ways, and you figure out that there's no wrong and there's no right. I just feel that sometimes there's a right or a wrong for your own self, not like that is only for me, but I wouldn't say that the other girl in the team will have to do the same thing to do a certain way. But then it's really important to find out what's right and wrong for you. Nowadays I think because of social media, people like kind of see other things and see people and think that, oh, that's right for them, that's wrong for them, and then they start feeling that this is the same thing for us, which is, I don't really agree to that. I just feel that humans, everyone is different in their own ways, and it's really important for them to find out what's right and wrong for their own selves.
I like that. And now that you mentioned social media, what role does social play in your life? Because I mean, you have this huge following, and it doesn't definitely doesn't come with only good and support. I know that. How are you dealing with all this noise, I guess, that comes with millions of followers across the platforms?
But I think you like, if you like, it depends on how much you're thinking about it and how much you're
Mm-hmm.
wanting it. I think there are
How
two
much you're
things.
wanting it.
Yeah, because like the only thing I want is to win World Cup for India, and that's the biggest thing for me. And I think if you set your priorities right in your life, I think these things won't affect you a lot. So I think I'm pretty sorted with the social media game and all of that. Uh, I know how much I have to be on it, and I know how much I don't have to be on it. Which time of the year I can be on it, or I don't want to, log into it as well. So we have amazing managers who could manage our social media. Yeah, so
Helps. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
it definitely helps because, of course, that's a way now. Athletes have become a brand is also thanks to social media. So you can't even avoid it. But knowing that our sports are such a mind sport, you can't be on it too a lot. So you have to find a balance. And I think if you set your priorities right in your life, I think you'll find your answers to it. Like recently in last 1 2 years, I have two phones, and just one phone has social media on it and one doesn't. And then I do not carry the phone with me most of the times. The only phone which I require is just to call people. When I only come back home or to my hotel room is when I open the social media for a bit, so which really helps to cut down on the screen time.
That is a really smart thing. And I loved how you said it's easy once you have your priorities right. Right? And I
Yeah.
found a quote of you saying, pre COVID, I was like, cricket, cricket, cricket. But then the pandemic phase came and the whole world changed. That time, I actually spent time with my family, and I feel I've changed massively as a person. Did this help you set your priorities right and cut down on the unnecessary stuff?
Yeah, I think COVID really helped me uh, to, like, I think prioritize my mental health, or you know family time, all of those stuff as well. Because when you're playing cricket back to back, back to back, back to back, you do not realize that do you really need a break, or you just feel that this is the way to live life. But when that stop happened for the whole world, I was at home for 6 months for the first time in like 8 9 years, that I was home for continuously like 5 to 6 months. I spent time with family, and it was just like I really enjoyed spending time with them. I did not think a lot about cricket, so now I do make sure that I whenever I get time, I do come back and spend time with them. Sometimes I do take those breaks from cricket, because before COVID, I just felt like you're just like a machine, and you're just running and running and running. And then, of course, after COVID, now I do understand that how much it's important to take that time off. Not like time off in a way where I'll go off cricket, but when I don't have a tour or something, I used to come back and I still used to practice and do all of those. I still do that, but I think I know I have compartmentalized stuff a lot better now in post COVID.
And I found also that you would have become a cafe owner if it weren't for cricket. So you definitely know what you could do if the world would stop again, probably.
Well, as I said, as you mentioned in my intro, I'm a big foodie. Always done a few cooking classes as well. Watched a lot of MasterChef Australia growing up. Loved all of those things. So I do own a cafe now.
Cool.
Yeah, my mom was very clear. She always told me that, if you want to become a cricketer and do something in the hotel business like a chef or something, you can't do both together for sure because both needs time, dedication. But if you become a cricketer, you can, maybe end up owning a cafe or owning a restaurant and, investing in that, but it can't happen the other way, which actually was like, yeah, right, not a bad option. So let's me focus on cricket, and whenever I get, if at all I have that much of whatever, like investment and all of that, I will for sure open a cafe or a restaurant, which I did. I think 4 5 years back, I opened my own cafe at home, which is called SME Team Cafe.
So cool. What do you sell there? What's the experience?
It's actually, it's more like a sports cafe, which has a like a massive projector, which a lot of matches are on, and then of course all the coffees and the milkshakes, and it's a vegetarian cafe because I'm a vegetarian, so all the burgers
Uh-huh.
and sandwiches, whatever, like all veg.
Cool.
And
Is it in
my
your
brother, I'm sure
hometown?
my brother would be able to sell it much better than I have,
It's
because he
fine. It's
really takes
fine.
care of it. Yeah, it's in my
No, you sold it
hometown
great.
from Sangli. Yeah, I'm from Sangli, so it's here.
Interesting.
But
Oh, I was gonna say definitely have to stop by, but India's very far away, so let's see.
yeah.
I'll put it on my bucket list.
Oh, that would be. It's a long. Nowadays, there's a flight which has started. So now I can at least invite people. Otherwise, it used to be like a 7 8 hour drive. So I used to never even tell people to come.
Hmm.
Like no,
Well, all right, Smriti,
you're
we
the
have.
only actually overseas who's pronounced my name like near perfect. Which
Thank
is,
you.
I don't know how much
Thank
have you
you.
practiced that.
Weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks. No, I'm kidding. Oh, no, but I
Uh,
always think that it's really important because the name is, such a big part of
uh,
our identity. So
because I play in Big
I
Bash
do
and
take care.
100, they they're never able to take my name correctly, and then they end up giving me a lot of nicknames.
Oh, what are the nicknames? I heard that one of your parents calls you Bebu because you couldn't pronounce your name when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, that's what my mom has given me a very hard, tough name. Smriti is pretty tough. Even for Indians, few Indians couldn't even, pronounce it well. My dad used to not able to pronounce, so he started calling me Bebu. Few Big Bash girls used to call me Mandy because Mandhana,
Hmm.
and so they used to take it like, they should just start calling Mandy. Some
Easy,
people
yeah.
call SM because my initials are SM. So a lot of, but
Hmm.
not many people could actually, especially like overseas, not from India. They used to always call it like Smithy, something.
Oh well. So I'm glad I got that right. That's good to know. What I was going to point our conversation towards throughout the last couple of minutes that we got now is really, well, I think big part of what you are as an athlete, because you're not just this stellar player, the stellar better, but you're also the captain, which comes with so much responsibility, with a lot of, I can imagine weight and a lot of tasks. So I would love to hear from you how you approach this whole idea of captaincy.
I think I'm the vice captain for the Indian team, and of course, I lead my franchisee RCB side. And of course, sometimes I think what helps me is, which I have been lucky that I was a state captain of my senior team since I was 17. So, that experience always teaches you a lot, because when you're at that age and you have to lead girls who are like 8 years elder to you, it really makes you like you're in a space where you don't know how do you talk to them, and all those experiences have really taught me that actually what the team needs and what the girls needs. So yeah, I think for me, I think there are two departments. There's a captainship and then there's batting. So I do not mix up both things. Uh, when I'm batting out there, I'm just a batter. I do not think that okay, I'm the captain, because uh, as a batter, what you have to do, regardless of you being the captain or you not being the captain. And but yeah, with captainship, I think the only important thing for me is having that connect with the players. I should be able to know that what they actually want out of the team and the leadership group, and what state of mind they'll be able to perform the best at, because every player needs to be spoken in a different way. So for me, I think as a captain is that's the most important thing which I try and do, because if you separate and you say that, oh, I'm the leader, I'm the captain, you have to follow, I think that doesn't work for me. At least maybe it might be working for few other captains, but for me it's to know that uh, you know when do they need me to shout at, or when do they need me to just just hear them out or sympathize, or there are different things you need to talk to different players. I just feel that that's I'm still, of course, a work in progress. Not that anyone is perfect at everything. So, of course, it's like a big work in progress. But yeah, I think first year of WPL Women's Premier League, we had a really horrible season. We were like fourth out of the fifth team. We couldn't really. First five matches we lost all five, and so much of expectations were there from the team and all of that. And I was the captain, so it really taught me a lot of things. That one year really changed me as a captain as well. And then I understood the kind of investment needed to be a captain. It's not only for that particular tournament, it's the whole year you need to be in contact, and you should know what's happening. So yeah, I think all those elements I've got into stuff now, and I think yeah, it should stay in me, and improved me a lot as a person and as a captain.
And I mean, we already established earlier in the conversation how you don't get stressed easily, how you rather, enjoy, whatever comes with being on the pitch and being in the situation of having to deliver. And I can imagine that this is a, you know, character feature that really helps you in this position, because you definitely have to have tough conversations with teammates, maybe even with coaches as well. How do you approach those? How do you assess them?
Yeah, I think I have a rule in life that whatever happens in the cricket ground, I leave it there and I come back. So which really helps me to be in a very sane place, because sometimes you get like your work into your house, like you get back to that bedroom, you get back your work. I think that's when you're not at the best place, because then you kind of overthink stuff. So yeah, I just take this as something I need to do. So yeah, I do think that 20 minutes, what happened good as a batter, what I could do better as a batter, what I could do better as a captain, have those conversations with the girls. Even with the girls, I'm very clear that when you're gonna do good, I'm not gonna be the first person to come and congratulate you. But when you're gonna be not be able to perform the way you want to, I'll be the first to give you a big hug. So not a really big expressive person that I'll go and go out there and just start talking. But yeah, I think I do know how to be there for them when they need me the most, or when they need the team the most. I think especially team sport, you have those advantages, so we should be able to use that and give them that confidence. Um, but yeah, with those conversations, I just feel that that's a part of my job, and I do not take it to my heart. If things don't go well, of course you do have to hear a few things which maybe won't please you, but if you're able to take all the congratulations and all the appreciation, I feel as a human you need to be able to take all the criticism as well. So so both things don't really affect me a lot, like appreciation or criticism. It just, I'm pretty chill with it. I'm just like, I can't even, if someone tells me congratulations, I'm so shy. I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I just be like, okay, I don't
Really,
know.
though?
Yeah, it's pretty weird for me to just like, someone like upfront comes and says great things about your batting or something, and I'm just like, okay, thanks, thank you. So, so the first thing I did actually after winning the WPL was go into the dressing room and sit for a while. I wasn't out there celebrating because I don't know what to do. And same with criticism. Like, I am not the first one to cry. I wouldn't cry or do show my emotions. Yeah, I just know. I think it's just there inbuilt. Not that I have did anything to be like that. It's just, I think it's just a characteristic as a person which I have.
I think I can definitely learn something from you when you say that you leave everything on the cricket field.
I think sometimes crying out and talking yourself is also a blessing, which I don't have, and I just feel like, oh, okay. When I so when I have my teammates coming in front of me and crying their heart out, and I'm just like, oh, I can't do that. I don't know how. I don't know how
Hmm.
to do that. So I think both ways. What works the best for you?
Interesting. But yeah, I really like your approach to this whole idea of captaincy. You have to be sympathetic, you have to listen to the needs of the girls, which is obviously something very important if you want to have a flourishing team. What about losing, Smriti? You're not too overexcited when being praised. What about when things are not going well?
Of course, you do feel hurt, and especially a bigger match like semis or finals of World Cups, and when you are not able to win them for the country and or for your franchise, I think that really, really hurts when you go back and how much ever the rule is. But on those bigger matches, you go back for half an hour, 1 hour, you're like, maybe I could have done that better. Maybe I could have, been able to do better. Uh, but then I just feel that that phase for me is just for an hour. I really do that for an hour, and then I'm okay, back to work. I put down notes in my diary that how do I work on myself and the team. That really helps me to get over losses, because if you sit and, like, yeah, I always say that to other girls as well, that if we sit and cry on what's happened, you're not never gonna improve. You're just gonna self sympathize yourself that, oh, I'm feeling this, and I'm extremely practical person. I would do that for an hour, that, oh, I should have done that, I should have done this. And then I'm like, okay, fine, okay, maybe I can improve these shots, I can get better at fitness at these things. Maybe I could have done these things as a teammate or as a leader. All of those things I write down, and I make sure that I do not repeat that again. So that really makes me think that, okay, this is what I have to do tomorrow. I have to start tomorrow. So once you start setting your goals for tomorrow and for a week and for a month, I think the losses somehow, of course, deep inside it does affect you, but your mind is more on the goals which you've set for yourself for the next week. So which that's how I kind of come out of it.
So, is it just a personal diary or is it only regarded or referring to everything that happens around cricket?
It's everything. I think sometimes there's a thought which comes to you, which you want to put it out in the universe. I really believe in the secrets book, like putting things out in the universe and all of that, laws of attraction. So yeah, if I do have a thought in my head to, all of those things as well goes into the diary. All the bad things which I think about myself, which I need to work on, those things as well. Maybe some personal stuff if I am affected by anything or anything. So if you just wanna write it down, I just write it down. Not that a big writer, but it might be just 5 6 lines, but it does make me feel better. Yeah. And sometimes you just get motivated by watching some other athlete or some other personality. So I do have a habit of noting that particular incident down, so that whenever I feel in the life I'm not motivated enough, I know where do I go, and I could read that again. So some quote or something you come across, anything it can be. So yeah, I think those things I do note down.
Did the manifestation of breaking the Jinx for RCB go in there as well?
Well, I think I spoke about this before the tournament, that the only goal this year is to not talk about the goal, and I'll keep
Okay.
that going. so, so yeah, I think what happens in the diary stays in the diary, kind of a thing.
That's fair.
but
That's fair.
but
That's
but
how it
yeah, it
should
was
be.
it was pretty cool because we could celebrate. Uh, that victory and see the happiness on people from Bangalore, because they really, they were all into it. So more than me, I just was really happy to see and watch them celebrate that.
Yeah, big one for sure. Everyone has been waiting or had been waiting for such a long time. 16 years. And
Yeah.
then you made it happen. Really cool. Smriti, this was really cool already. Really appreciate all your openness, all your stories, and letting us, have a glimpse of how you approach life and, cricket and everything around it. Maybe you could finish this episode off for us with leaving our audience with a little, inspirational quote or talk why matters to stick to whatever you want to achieve.
The only thing I follow in my life, which I always say that is, you know, whatever you do in life, never forget why you started doing what you did. So that's always the answer is that you had a passion and you enjoyed what you did. So even if you get professional into it, never forget that you actually picked up the bat and the ball, or whatever sport you did, is because you enjoyed, doing that as a kid. And secondly, I think you have to enjoy each and everything which comes with cricket. Like we spoke about appreciation, we spoke about criticism. It can be your strength session, it can be your conditioning session, it can be your practice session. But you have to enjoy each and everything you which comes, because the final product is what we do on the ground. But what comes behind, of course, you've played hockey, and it's a far more physical sport than cricket. So you will be you would know that what the work that goes behind. In that, sometimes people can't see that for an hour. They would just see, oh, that goal happened, or you played that particular shot. So but it's really important as an athlete to enjoy every moment what you're doing, so that the best result comes. You should never do because someone else is telling you to do. You should always feel like doing it and wanting to do it and enjoy doing that. That's the only thing I follow. So maybe if that helps.
Definitely does. Thank you so much again, Smriti Mandhana.
Nice, nice. I like the pronunciation.
Thanks again to Smriti. Personally, I learned so much from this conversation, especially two things. One, social media is what you allow it to be. And number two, leave everything that's, related to cricket on the cricket pitch. I really have to try to make that a rule in my life. But let's see what York and I can take from my conversation with Smriti on Thursday. We'll sit down and see what the lessons are that we can, draw from this conversation and implement into our own lives. And guys, please get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you. Comment, review, or email would be the best ways to do so. The email address is mindsetwin@redbull.com. And if you would like to, make sure to check out the full video on our YouTube channel, Mindset Win. That's it from me. See you again on Thursday.